Here we go. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Hello, world. Before we go forward, I want to double check that sound and all is working well. It's always the issue before we proceed with the actual program. So I will be waiting for confirmation that everything is working well, and I had it. So wonderful. All right, finally we can open our Global Quantum Game Jam 2023. Welcome to the show. My name is Natasha Skult, and I will be one of the main hosts for this jam and throughout the weekend. Together with Laura and Daria, already for many years we have been organizing this jam and many more years to come. As every year, we have prepared a lot of talks and program outside of the jamming itself, as we also want to share what the whole jam and game jam, as well as quantum computing and quantum physics and all of this, how it all comes together. So we will dive into that very shortly. But before we go, I want to say that most of the program will be here on Twitch, but also on Discord channel. So please post. I'm keeping an eye. I have actually several, 3 different screens plus my laptop and everything else. So I'm keeping an eye on everything throughout the weekend as well, and also will be jamming. But I want to just say that please do ask questions, especially now in any info desk or so when it comes to any practicalities, or put here in the chat any questions or comments you may have. So before we start, I have a question for you. How many of you, and I will be looking both Discord and on the chat here, how many of you are joining the Game Jam for the very first time? Because every time we do have some very, quite many actually, kind of first timers. So yay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Amazing. It is so great to see so many new faces. Incredible. And in the chat as well, let's see how many more. Wow, great. This is so exciting, because what we are going to kick off with is that I want to tell you first what game jams are and what to expect from this particular game jam. Now, as this is international event, this also means that we have people joining from across the globe, which is awesome. And that also means that time zones are something to be aware of, meaning that when we speak about times, usually I will be from now on posting not in Finnish time, because I'm located in Finland as well as the rest of the organizers, but we will be also referring to Central European Zone as well. So just keep an eye on set, or then if it's something in Finnish time. But again, Finland is just 1 hour ahead of the Central European time. And especially when it comes to teams that will be forming between, again, members from across the globe, which is something that we encourage the most. We will be mindful of that, and this is also where we will be flexible with especially any technical or other issues when it comes to submissions of your games later on. But everything will be explained and described and shared with you in good time. But now, what we are going to do, we are going to actually look into what is happening now. What is the Game Jam and where it all started. So yeah, here we go. Quantum Game Jam 2023 would not be possible without all these amazing people and organizations and companies who are throughout the years supporting our mission and vision to bring together all sorts of nerds and creatives around the globe to make games, especially inspired by or using the quantum physics, for which, by the way, as a disclaimer, I am not a quantum physicist. I am from the games industry, and my background is in art. So this is where my kind of like background comes from, although I am doing my doctoral degree on interactive storytelling with quantum computing, which I'm not going to bore you about. But throughout the years, especially from the way before even doing my PhD in this field or anything, as a game developer, and again, experimenting with different technologies as well as different ideas and people around from different industries is so always inspiring, because the more diverse team you have, the more diverse approaches, ideas, experiences you get is the most fruitful for no matter in which day-to-day job you have or into which industry you otherwise work in or aim to work at. But so yeah, now let's dive straight into what is a Quantum Game Jam. So Quantum Game Jam is an open and relaxed event. So remember, have fun above everything else in creating games based on quantum physics. And it can be also inspired by, or it can be using the actual quantum computing software simulation of a sort, which we will be telling you more later on, especially Qiskit or some other plugins that are available for you to use. And really what we want to do is to bring people from various disciplines together and explore in a creative way everything about quantum physics, game development, creating something, and artists. We really want to see as many artistic expressing by yourselves, and also you as a team. And what better way to do it than with science and tech and art? So this is all about that, bringing the best of humanity together for a weekend. But also, as you can see, our Discord has been really growing steadily throughout the years. And as a community, we want to keep nurturing this community and supporting you in exploring different kind of ways that you can create games, again, art, or also include all of this as part of your possibly academic research or work research if you are a physicist, and especially working with quantum computation or similar. So yeah, then what else? And by the way, if anyone has any questions, please do ask. I'm keeping an eye on all of this, also in the Discord as well as our chat. So it all started quite long ago when you think about it. So next year apparently is going to be 10 years since the very first Quantum Game Jam done here in Finland with various researchers and academics in quantum computing and quantum physics, but also with the Finnish Game Jam Association. And I remember my very first time, I'm not sure was it 2014, but definitely I do have a t-shirt from 2015. I might wear it tomorrow actually on the stream. That is, and it's obviously old t-shirt, so pardon that, but come on, that's the part of the legacy. I remember I was one of the organizers for the Turku site, because back in the day before COVID, majority of game jams were done, at least in Finland, physically, meaning at the spot with the people, forming groups and working together with the physicists at the spot. However, we have moved fully online from COVID time. And also since then, we do encourage both online and in person. So this year we do have quite many sites, especially in Latin America, across universities, that they will be joining us actually tomorrow on a Saturday afternoon/evening, or then again, morning, depending on your time zone, where they will be sharing their experiences and working on their games. So David and Kate from Latin America are managing the sites across the globe, which is super exciting. And of course, we have participants from all around the planet. And so, yes, please, that's another thing that we would love to see, especially later on in the surveys and so on. Where are you based? Because that's always so exciting to see with this big event where people come from. And yeah, so this is this all started as you can see, quite ambitious, but at the same time modest. It's very controversial, I know, but the idea was big and the mission was big, and so many people took Game Jam, I mean Quantum Game Jam, as really incredible experience for their both careers, but also generally exploring different ways of thinking about not just physics, but also thinking about creating games. And this is something that we will be discussing next. Why games, and also what is with the whole quantum physics and games. And furthermore, in this edition, as said, we will be mainly online, so everything will be done through our Discord server and through Twitch. Now, Twitch is mainly to present our guest speakers, have updates from all our partners, as well as through the jam, like how is it going with the jam. So we will be sharing all these news also with the world through Twitch. But the main development and everything else, along with the rest of the practical information, will be shared on Discord. So if you haven't joined Discord, please do. You can find it through literally our website, quantumgamejam.org, or you can join through itch.io page, which has join the Discord link. And yeah, so what to expect? I said talks, interviews, showcasing different kind of work throughout the work, as well as the very end, we will have a live gameplay of some of the games. However, we are planning to actually have a separate, because we will see how many games are made. Usually, previously, we had about between 15 and 20 games, so it was possible to do to play them all, or at least present them all as a playthrough at the final kind of like closing words and gaming session. But we will see how many we have this year. So if there are quite many, we will be then making additional online sessions of gameplay. So we make sure that we cover every single game that will be made during this weekend. And what else? So here is a brief schedule, but more detailed along with introductions to our speakers and guests will be coming soon. But today, what to expect is that, of course, we are starting with the jam. So we will very soon have a theme reveal and then have our special guests. From in about, well, hour and 45 minutes from now, we will have idea pitching and team formation. So basically how that works is that we will first give you time that everyone individually can also think about the theme, think about what kind of game, as well as kind of from physics perspective, what that could be. And there will be a brainstorming voice and text channels in Discord that you can use for literally just get your ideas out. And then we will start pitching, and people can start forming, like generally kind of like based on the game ideas. First, the team formation will start coming, but then we will make sure that either if someone is missing a team or someone is missing certain skill set, so let's say you miss an artist, or you want another coder to your team, or you need a physicist in your team, and so on. So this is where we will be, as moderators and organizers, helping everyone to find their team. As a note, you are allowed also to work solo, so you can develop solo project if you insist. It's always nicer to work in a team, but we won't, we are not against it, meaning if you want to do it solo, you are free to do so. So on a Saturday, we will have from 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. Central European time till quite late in the evening, talks about, from quantum physics, quantum technologies, quantum industry, also games, but as well we will have from the games industry. So we are going to have a lot of program tomorrow, and you can all follow here on Twitch while you are making your games. You can just tune in and listen to the talks. And then at 8 o'clock, our Finnish local time, we will have our guests from Latin America joining and showing what they have been making. And then on Sunday, we will see how Sunday looks, but preliminary plan is that by 1 o'clock, you should finish your games. So we are kind of like, again, this is an aim to stop development at 1 o'clock finish time, afternoon, and in about a few more hours afterwards to submit your games and the video to our itch.io page. Of course, as mentioned, due to possible technical issues, different time zone issues with the team members in the same team and so on, we can expand this for some time. So we will agree together with you. So again, don't really stress about it. This is not a competition. It's all about experiences, having fun, and doing something completely out of the comfort zone and out of the box during this weekend. And then again, once we have games up and about, then we can start with game presentations. And that's something that I'm always mostly looking forward to see all the amazing stuff that people make during the jams. And yes, here is once again our Twitch channel for if you haven't found us yet, make sure to save it for later, and you can follow as well, as IGDA Finland has all sorts of other content that we are streaming as an organization. Yeah, what else? And any questions so far? Let me see. Any comments? Are you guys excited? I'm so excited. It's always so much fun. Yay. I know. I will be jamming also. Even that I'm hosting a jam, I always jam. I at least try my best. And I'm very much looking forward to see what's coming up. So let's see which time zone. So we are following. So these are all on this schedule Finland time zone. So that is UTC +3 or GTM times +3. But again, if it's easier for you guys to use the Central European zone, we can of course switch. So just as a mark there. All right. Yes, so please do check the schedule. We also, our calendar that we have put there, Google Calendar should automatically give your time zone. So when you add it to yours, your personal one, then you will get the right times in your local time. But we will be again improving this in the future as we are building new systems. Of course, as this jam is growing so nicely, of course with the community across the globe, we want to make sure that everything is available, possibly even having different programs later for different time zones. But so far you have to deal with this, and we are really doing our best. Also, our new website, quantumgamejam.org, is going to be available from now on. Also, this is where we will post all our content when it comes to tips, tricks, any kind of resources for making games, especially with quantum physics-based or quantum computation, as well as the recordings of our previous talks and previous materials throughout the years that we have been having will be built into a library that will be available for free for you to use at your disposal. So let's see where we are at. Any other comments or questions? Oh yeah, This is super exciting. So once again, Q-World is going to provide certificates for participants of Global Quantum Game Jam. And the requirements are that you need to be credited as for a team or, again, solo project that is published on our event page. So on our itch.io page, make sure when you put the game in under your name, also submit it to our Game Jam page. And this is what we will be using for presenting the games on Sunday as the final kind of closing gameplay and closing words. Also, there will be shared a form for requesting the certificate after the jam, so that also you can as well request if it doesn't come automatically for you. I would just fill the form, and basically at least one team member needs to register and upload the game, because the rest then again, as you are in the credits, make sure that your game has credits, credit everyone always, and that's how certification will take place. We will also have one of the speakers from Q-World joining us this weekend, so he will also be telling more about it, or you can ask as well. Oh yeah, University of Lima, Peru. Welcome aboard. Please, I mean, challenge accepted. Please do break the time-space continuum, please. All right. So what else? Then, for those who are joining late, again, we are officially starting now. It doesn't matter when you actually start. On our Discord, we will make sure that everyone, no matter how late you join, you are welcome to join. Just dive in. Our volunteers and organizers, fellow organizers, will be there for you to support you throughout the journey. And just get active. That's it. Don't be afraid and ask for help. We have all sorts of, and also there are mentors and other professionals from both industries to help with whatever questions you may have. So just start jamming. That's it. As simple as that. And also, if anyone wants to join from your friends, just as that, like just ad hoc, just invite them. Again, we are not going to close. The Discord is there. You can share the link. Just they can join at any moment. Then, no previous experience needed. That is something that is really, really important. And I'm so happy to see so many of the first-time jammers joining us this year. Basically, how it goes is that even if you're not a game developer or you are not even quantum physicist, but you're curious about overall what is a game jam and what is quantum physics, this is the best place to do so. And how it goes is that you will be part of the team. So especially then, if you haven't had any previous experience, join the team. Try not to do solo the very first jam, because this is where it will be so much easier to get to, learn and get that experience together with others who have been at least having one or a few jams before you. And also we have house full of mentors, so feel free to ask for help, ask for mentoring. There is no such a thing as stupid question or anything like that. We are here to support each other. And the beauty of 3-day jam like this is that there is no time for overthinking. It's basically you start getting all these ideas and you just start making the games, and it's just so refreshing in so many ways, because more time to also overthink things, and this time it's just do it, just sit down and do it. And again, you have the full server, which now has over 1,000 people on our server. Welcome everyone, super excited to have you all here, to support each other. And make sure to read code of conduct and rules of the server, because we want to make sure that this is as safe space as possible for everyone to enjoy game jam and community we are having. So yeah. And good morning for you from Peru as well. Wonderful. And yes, please, all the help is most appreciated. So yeah, all of this in the Discord. But now, are you guys ready to see what is the theme of this year's jam? Huh? Are we ready? Oh my God. Oh my God. Press the button, as the Finnish coders would say. Let's press the button. What is it? Let's go. It is motion. Motion, but also there's this little E there. It could be also emotion. And quite often, motion and emotion do tend to work together, don't you think? So, the main theme is motion, but if, again, emotion works better for you, because we want to make sure that this theme, or any themes of the game jams we do, serves as an inspiration. And, oh, that's very true, indeed. Oh, and welcome Argentina, amazing. Very first game. Well, couldn't be better place than Game Jam to make a first game. Excellent. Perfect timing. Also for revealing the theme. So yeah, motion is the main theme, and everything here is to inspire you. Don't take it as a restriction. It's more as inspiration. And again, whatever game you are making, try to have physics or quantum physics in particular, again, inspired or somehow used, like literally from the theory, but also, who knows, mathematics and so forth. So try to integrate also possibly even simulations or other kind of tools that you might use even in your day-to-day research, work, studies, and so on. Emotional roller coaster ride. Well, isn't it just pretty much any roller coaster pretty emotional? To be honest, I'm the one usually very much screaming on these. But yeah, that is the theme of this year. So, what happens now? I would like to actually share a bit about how, especially from the quantum physics side, what is, again, I'm not a physicist, but thankfully Laura Pispene, who will be also giving emotionally charged adventures, oh yeah, indeed, who is a quantum physicist, has shared with me some material that I will be sharing with you forward. But basically, the theme of motion and emotion offer unique lenses through which to explore the quantum physics and quantum computing. And here are some phenomena and technologies that might be related with somewhat, as said, of the level of speculation. So when it comes to motion, we have quantum tunneling. In classical physics, a particle hitting a barrier will either break through if it has enough energy or bounce back if it doesn't. In quantum physics, it is not as straightforward. As the theory is probabilistic, there is sometimes a non-zero probability for the particle to exist on the other side of the barrier, even with too low energy. And when they do, we say that particles will tunnel through barriers. This could be a metaphor for overcoming obstacles in unexpected ways. So, in a motion side, quantum tunneling, now you know. Then, we have quantum walks. Random walks are processes used to investigate problems all the way from physics to economics. They describe a path that can consist of random steps on a lattice, for example. Quantum random walks then again are the quantum equivalent of random walks, showing how particles can move in a quantum system. Instead of a single step, the quantum walker is able to go through the space of possible routes in a superposition. Quantum walks are essential for quantum search algorithms and could be related to complex choreographies of movements in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Nice. Very nice. Super nice. All right. And then we have quantum harmonic oscillator. This describes particles vibrating or oscillating in a quantum state, typically bounded by a surrounding barrier. It's fundamental in the study of quantum mechanics and could be the way to explore the motion theme at a microscopic level. Super nice. I mean, yes, this is very, very inspiring. All this we will post, actually, everything I'm reading now out loud, we will post in the Discord as well as a document. So for those who are not quantum physicists, you can also explore these for inspiration. Again, inspiration, don't take it as a restriction. It's not. Then, emotion part. So, quantum cognition. Although still a speculative and controversial field, some researchers are exploring whether quantum mechanics could be used to model cognitive processes, including emotions and decision-making. The superposition principle could metaphorically represent the idea that humans can hold conflicting emotions or thoughts simultaneously. Very interesting. Then, observer effect. In quantum physics, the act of observing a system fundamentally changes it. Well, we all know that. If nothing else from, general pop culture, you already know this. This could be linked in a psychological effect that being observed has on human emotions or behavior, which we also know how it is, especially if you are introvert. Yeah, that doesn't really work well now, does it? But yeah, very nice. And then we have uncertainty principle. So this principle could be metaphorically applied to emotions, representing the idea that one cannot simultaneously know certain pairs of properties of a system with arbitrary precision. In a similar vein, one might not be able to precisely measure or understand all facets of human emotion. Indeed, very peculiar. And yes, thank you, yes, quantum cognition, highly speculative, yes, but still very inspiring. I find this super inspiring. And then we have technology. Now, quantum sensing. Future quantum sensors could detect minute changes in movement, temperature, or other variables, providing a more emotional machine that could better understand and respond to human needs. Quantum encryption is emotion often involves the sharing of sensitive or private information. And quantum encryption technologies promise a future where such data can be shared with mathematically probable security in comparison to the current cryptographic solutions that may be compromised using quantum computers of the, let's say, near future. So, personal data and information as well as emotions. Very nice. Then, quantum computing in neural networks. Oh, here we go. Quantum computing has potential to dramatically speed up machine learning algorithms, leading to artificial intelligence that could better interpret human emotion or even simulate emotion state more conceivingly. So, if you are all in the, since AI, oh yeah, alien dance, very nice. Ooh, I like that one. So, that's the thing, like if, especially now with all the AI tech that it's really being, well, used and abused, but let's not go there, with very much present AI tech in everyday use, even for quite many, this could be quite inspiring as well. What would be the future of quantum AI and how we could possibly use it? Let's see. Let's see a game about it. So yeah, these are the terms and some, again, material that Laura was so kind to share, and my apologies again for just reading them out loud, but if any questions come, you can, of course, ask in the Discord, and then we will have further discussions there. But these are some just inspirational parts which you can use when making your games. Some of the things that I would highly recommend is keep your games and scope small, meaning keep it simple. whatever inspires you, go with that. Make maybe one or two mechanics and run with it. Do the best you can with that. And usually these first ideas are the kind of like really fresh and something you especially if it sticks to you, go with it. Don't doubt it. Just run with it. And besides quantum physics, I want to tell more about games. Now, how many gamers or players we have here with us today? So you don't need to be a developer or so, but let's see how many game devs we have gamers we have in the house. Quite many. So why we play games? Why do we play them? Well, first of all, games do allow us to have different kind of experiences, and yet in that safe environment, which is not of this world, meaning that we have this digital environment where we can explore and experience different kind of stories, learning aspects, or whatever it is that the game is about, what game provides. And one thing that, in my opinion, especially as a game designer, I think the motion, meaning kind of action or interaction in the sense of games, as a medium, that in the essence of the medium as interaction, as well as bringing the players to be the active part of that story, to not be like in other mediums more passive, although it is of course debatable, but here it's actual action reaction that comes with the playing the game between the player and the let's say, to simplify, designer behind the game. So, and then the technology, because again, depending what game and experience you are creating, then you need to also figure out what kind of technology, meaning what kind of platform would be the best for that experience. And for some games, mobile devices are the best option. For some, PC, console, maybe VR, AR. Again, depends on the experience, depends what you want players to experience. That's where you are also figuring out what technology would be most suitable, or cross-platform. Again, if you have a game that can be cross-platform. So for me, and that's why I made this slide in this way, for me, motion in games and emotion are inseparable. And of course, it's all possible with the technology and with artistic vision that we have to make this as a holistic experience what the games are. Because games are not just the mechanic. Games are very, very emotional experiences for the players, because players do immerse in this world that we create for them. And very often, again, as a game designer, I can tell you, we don't create these games just for our own sake. We create these games for players, and very often with players. So it is all this very, very layered process. And that's why I don't have, or I don't wish to give any, I think they're all equally important here. So interaction, emotion, and the technology that you want to use, especially in this game jam. And now, as we have also quantum physicists and quantum computation as emerging technology also reaching out as well, games industry, I can tell you how exciting it is to actually be able to see what we can do with all this available knowledge and tech, and again, wide range of ways we can combine and do things. So yeah, let me see. Then I will just read a few, and there is so just few comments to see. And yeah, quite many games, especially made with the quantum physics in mind, or quantum computation, are educational in an essence. And this is something that actually I will very soon give the stage to Laura Pispanen from Aalto University, who will tell you more about the games, of quantum physics games and generally science games that she has been also using in her doctoral research, as well as, well, being part of organizers of the jam. So, without further ado, do stay tuned for the live discussions that we will have here and talks, as well as the guests that are joining us soon. But for now, for those who want, please do also join the Discord, and it's time to jam, jammy. Happy jamming. Now it officially starts. And yeah, I will be soon switching to put Laura on the stage, and we will talk soon. Cheers.
So hello everyone, and thank you for your time and for being here. My name is Laura Pispanen. I'm a doctoral candidate at the Aalto University School of Science, and I'm here presenting our paper, The History of Quantum Games. So my background and education comes from theoretical physics and the foundations of quantum mechanics. But through curiosity, I've wandered into the intersection of quantum physics, games, and art. And instead of our game theoretic approaches, we are discussing here games that one way or another relate to quantum physics. So we may start by noting that playing games is part of human nature, and the history of games and play extends far in the history of human beings. But as we want to concentrate on quantum physics-related games, we do not need to go that far, as the theory of quantum physics is a little over 100 years old. So quantum physics is the theory that describes the behavior of the particles, little atoms, and phenomena at the subatomic scale. And these phenomena are so that we don't observe in our everyday lives. And in order to learn about the theory, mathematical formalism and rigor is required, at least up to some simple linear algebra before diving deeper. And the theory is also overly mystified through the use of terms like spooky action at a distance, or the way movies and New Age conmen use the terms that are related to the theory for the purpose of their agenda. Also, to many, the relevance of quantum physics to the everyday lives is unclear, which might lead then to the conclusion that quantum physics is irrelevant. But we wouldn't have lasers, transistors, MRIs, or working navigation systems without quantum physical phenomena. And studying and learning about these phenomena, it has benefited from simulations, so games are also introduced as an appropriate way to bring something more tangible about the theory. But not all quantum games are serious games. We'll start by looking at the games from 80s, when the earliest quantum physics related game in our data was created. This here is Atari's Quantum, where you use an optical tracking ball to capture different types of particles from the screen. And here we have a screenshot from Quantum Soccer by Craig Egan. There's a probability distribution of a certain type of a quantum physical system at play there, pushing the ball. And here we have Marie Curie playing a virtual reality version of Quiz, a citizen science game that I was also part of developing. And the number of games that relate to quantum physics and quantum technology has greatly increased in the last few years, 10 years or so. And because interest has grown around their academic use and educational use. But the vast majority of quantum games have been created through quantum game jam events and hackathons. And here we have a graph of the number of quantum physics related games from the year 1982 to 2022. And we see two peaks. The first one is in 2015, and out of the 32 quantum games developed that year, 28 were developed at the global edition of Quantum Game Jam. The other peak is 2 years after the release of Qiskit. It's an open source SDK for working with quantum computers and simulations. And in 2019, there were multiple hackathons and game jams with that theme that connected to the use of Qiskit and to combine that with games. So I've collected this list of quantum physics related games since 2017 and noticed that many of them don't have a serious purpose behind them. And looking at this list, it also gave the question of how are these games then characterized? And they clearly had at least 3 distinctive ways they referenced the theory of quantum physics. And we call these the dimensions of quantum games: perceivable dimension of quantum physics, dimension of scientific purposes, and the dimension of quantum technologies. So in a preprint, my colleagues from IBM Research and Aalto University, we provided a formal definition to quantum games through these dimensions. So quantum games refer to video games, analog games, and other variants of games that reference the theory of quantum physics, quantum technologies, quantum computing. Through the perceivable means, they connect to quantum physics through a scientific purpose or use quantum technologies. So we'll now see what these dimensions of quantum games mean by looking at some example games. And we'll start by the perceivable aspects of quantum physics in these games. And we search these aspects through the game itself, the gameplay, intro, info menu, or anything related or the surrounding material, and anything that's perceived in that. So they may be visual aspects, thematic relations, storytelling, or actions in the game. The game may, for example, have some visual aspects in it. These aspects may be thematic references, like depicting quantum hardware, quantum computing formalism, like in this card game, Q cards here. It may have like particles, lasers, or Schrödinger cats, like here in what's in the box from 2015. Or the visuals may have a simulation of a quantum physical system connected to them. So the visual elements might even stem directly from this numerical simulation or quantum computers. And here in this game, for example, the shape of the wave is depicted by a probability distribution of a so-called Bose-Einstein condensate. The perceivable aspect may also be in the storytelling. During development of Quantum Break, a quantum physicist was consulted so that they could create a storyline and actions in the game that deeply connect to quantum physics. Storyline and connections can be also created through sourcing quantum hardware, like in the Clay prototype proposed. And another perceivable way, like I said, are the actions that reference quantum physics in the game. So like in this game, Entanglement Hypermaze, you can switch between 2 superposed characters, and also stepping on a tile locks its shape. So it's a reference to quantum measurement. And then we have the scientific purposes of quantum games as the second aspect. So these may be educational or training purposes or citizen science purposes, for example. Quantum Race, exhibited at a festival, explains complex science concepts to school children. And similarly, engaging a younger audience is done by QCraft, released in 2013 for the game Minecraft as an edition. And rather than simulating quantum physics, the mod presents like analogies for the player and demonstrates how quantum behavior varies. one of my favorite examples is the quantum flytrap here. Please Google it and go and play it. It simulates a quantum optics laboratory equipment setting, and by playing it, you learn kind of like the logic behind what happens at quantum optics laboratory. In 2018, IBM Research gave this board game, and it's also introducing like basic concepts of quantum computing. And similarly, they have Hello Quantum game you can download on your phone and learn some basic logic behind like quantum computing. For outreach, we've also had these interactive art installations that have gamified aspects in them, like Quantum Garden and Quantum Playground, that depict superposition as a colorful wave-like visualization. And then there's the purpose of citizen science. Games that are centered around the problem of optimizing quantum state transfer processes within the framework of quantum optimal control, like Quiz. For example, you're in a laboratory, it's a magical laboratory where you try to control a liquid in flasks. And then a very similar game is Quantum Moves 2, but it was more professionally developed further and researched a lot more. And then we have the games that connect to quantum technologies and are played on quantum computers, so quantum computer games. Some of the early devices that could be considered as quantum computers have been publicly accessible for researchers and other quantum enthusiasts via IBM's QExperience since 2016. And they have a graphical interface to it, and also introduced Qiskit, the SDK, for this purpose. So these games are either like games on quantum computers, or they're using like simulations of these quantum technologies and quantum hardware, because for accessing the computers, you either have to own a quantum computer of your own, or you have to wait in line to get your turn to use it. But the first computer on a quantum computer was developed by James Wooden in 2017. It's called Cat Box Scissors. And the game was developed using the Python computer language as a demonstration for the first available quantum devices through this very simple command line interface. But the game allows you to play against a quantum computer, and the moves are affected by quantum sourced randomness that was really present, especially in the early hardware. And this leads to noise in the opponent's moves and offers a possibility for a winning tactic over the quantum computer. Here's another example called Quantum Solitaire, which simulates a quantum hardware and provides an intuitive feel of what quantum entanglement can do. So the purposes behind quantum games may not be serious, but we may find many types of uses for the other types of games. So, for example, to bring awareness with any perceivable aspects in the game. They may general interest towards quantum physics to learn more, or they may be used to break biases. They can also be used for outreach, which is also kind of like a dimension of scientific purposes, or talent acquisition. They can be used as pedagogical tools. Usually there needs to be a perceivable dimension then, of course, but it has a strong dimension of scientific purpose then. Or citizen science, which then may also be used for testing the capabilities of quantum computers. So as a conclusion, the development of quantum games has received a lot of interest from research groups involved in quantum technology development, quantum computing experts, and quantum physics educators, mostly for serious game purposes. But since the formation of quantum game jams, artists and game developers who have had no previous background in quantum physics theory have played a significant role in the expansion of quantum games. So not all quantum games have a serious or applied purpose, and quantum physics also inspires entertainment games, both commercially as well as through smaller projects. But it is important to view the history of quantum games so that their purpose and potential can be better understood when utilized in education or training. And as another important function, attractive quantum games and interactive quantum art will play a vital role in further popularizing the appeal of quantum physics and quantum technologies towards the general public. And with this, thank you for your short time. And I invite any questions either through this event platform or by contacting me later. Thank you.
And we are live together with Charlie from Global Game Jam. Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Natasha. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
So please do introduce yourself to everyone, because it's always better when one introduces themselves, because I can talk for days about you and your work. So I think it's way better if you do it.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. So I'm Charlie Harbord. I'm Director of Partnerships for Global Game Jam. As you can tell from the accent, I'm Scottish, based in Scotland. Global Game Jam we're all entirely remote, so we're all over the world with our staff. Finishing up a PhD in the use of role-playing games to preserve Indigenous languages, cultures, and traditions. I work with Women in Games as their applied games designer in residence. And I'm also a cultural sensitivity expert for one AAA game, one mobile game, neither of which I'm allowed to talk about because of NDAs, but they are real. And at some point, everyone will hear about them. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
We are super excited to have you, as Global Game Jam has been, well, how many years we spoke about this at Games or DevCom, like at least from the amount, like us who are organizing game jams, regardless of the topic and theme, like it's just something that becomes as a lifestyle, not even anymore just as a, I mean, hobby is one thing, but again, making games even outside of your work, it's literally something that keeps going. And you are working for Global Game Jam organization. So can you tell us more about, especially for those who are, we have quite many, by the way, first-time jammers. So this is super exciting. So if you can share what Global Game Jam as an organization does, and more about your team, but also any tips for the first-time jammers.
Okay, fabulous. Well, welcome first-time jammers. I can almost guarantee it will not be your last jam, because it never is. It's like getting a tattoo. You get one and then you just keep going. So Global Game Jam is the world's largest game creation organization, or game creation event organization. This year in January, we had over 40,000 people take part in 108 countries, 800 sites around the world, who made over 7,600 games, which is hugely impressive numbers. What's the one thing that most people don't know about, and I mentioned this at PGC Helsinki just a couple of days ago, and there was an audible gasp from the audience, is that Global Game Jam only really has 3.5 members of staff. There's Tim, who's the executive director based in Seattle. There's Tarja, director of community education based in Finland. There's myself, director of partnerships based in Scotland. And then we have Zane, who's director of tech, but he only works part-time. So without our amazing volunteers, site organizers, regional organizers, and more than anything, our awesome community, we would be nothing. So that's our driving force, our community and our amazing volunteers that help us do this incredible event every year. And we also run partner jams throughout the year, where we either work with tech companies, so commercial jams, or we do social outreach, social benefit jams, where climate change, mental health, cultural heritage, endangered animals. So there's always something happening within Global Game Jam. Advice for first-time jammers, I would say just have fun. Like, the whole ethos of Global Game Jam is we're not selling anything. There's no product. We literally just want people to get together, have fun, make new friends, and also make new games, and just spark that excitement for game creation within you. If you're a first timer, you don't need to be a master of coding. No one's expecting you to come in and make a AAA game. At the end of it, you make one core loop or a vertical slice, which is essentially just a playable level of a game. Sometimes games aren't finished, but you should still submit them. But the most important thing that we want you to get out of this is that connection with new people, that making friends, learning skills, lifelong friends, to be honest, and ignite that spark for creativity within you. And remember, game dev isn't just coding, it's art, it's audio, it's narrative design, it's project management, it's producing. So there's so many different areas where anyone who thinks I can't do this because I can't code, yes, you can. Just give it a try. There's so many engines out there that you can use where you don't need to code or you don't need art. If you're just into narrative, you could use Twine and immediately start with Twine. So there's so many options for someone who's coming in as an absolute beginner. And I would promise you, at the end of your first jam, you won't be an absolute beginner, and you will carry on with it. And you'll probably carry on in your own time with the team that you make after the jam. You might still say, well, hang on a minute, we never finished that game. Let's keep working on it. And that's happened quite a lot as well.
we will be sharing also different kind of resources and materials for jamming, so free license type of programs, as well as, I mean, from software to literally assets and everything else that you can use throughout the jam. So again, we are here to support also in that way. So as mentioned, actually, it has never been easier to make games when you think about the amount of tools, and especially free tools to use, and also not coding required. So this is where also quite many creatives, just like Twine is one thing you mentioned, but then there is also for the narrative, for example, Fungus have been quite user-friendly. Then there is Ink by Inkle that is also very user-friendly. So again, you can make a game actually even in Excel if you really want to.
So you can do a branching narrative in Word. It doesn't matter. And there's so many engines now that are saying they're browser based. For example, Big Bang. You don't need an expensive gaming laptop. You can use a Chromebook and still make a game. There's ones that you can use on your phone. So there's the limitations, I think, now are much, much lower than they've ever been. So there's nothing stopping you. And I mean, this is my own personal philosophy of what's the worst that could happen. So you try a game jam, you try to make a game, it's not successful. What's the worst outcome from that? Nothing. You've had fun, you've met people, you've probably eaten a lot of pizza and talked absolute nonsense with brand new friends and made all these connections. So there's nothing holding you back.
And when it comes to also those who are in, let's say, games industry, or they do work specific kind of maybe software development as a, IT, or being maybe, I don't know, from marketing or whichever other disciplines that are out there, you can actually use this jam. So I can tell you from our team, what usually happens as game developers from my day-to-day job, we try always to either learn or try some different software and tool, or literally switch the roles. So coders could do actually some more artsy stuff. I was actually planning to try some audio. I never done audio. So I want to try some audio and music kind of like making, and it's going to be horrendous, but it's okay. Still, I want to try it. I've never done it, so might as well. And especially quantum and music, there is a lot of stuff happening there. So I want to experiment a bit with that. And again, narrative and so on. So again, anything can be. So even if you are in the industry and this is, day-to-day job, let's say you're a coder, or in my case, game designer or an artist and so on, so you can switch around and do some other discipline for that jam and learn new tools. Try, if nothing else. It doesn't have to be just like, don't pressure yourself. As long as you try things, have fun. And again, you're not alone. Even if you're doing solo deving, still, there are all other people. We are having over 1,000 people in our server now. I haven't checked the latest numbers, but there is a lot of people that we are all here together to make games this weekend. And again, this is an annual event, reoccurring, so we are going to actually have even more stuff in the planning, especially with the Global Game Jam in the upcoming years. So yeah, these would be the kind of like tips to where you start from, and what you can basically just again go with the flow. That's pretty much, I think, that's what I take most of these events, even as an organizer. Just like things can happen, just like go with the flow.
Absolutely. And it's a totally safe space to try new things, to push yourself, to be in that experimental zone. In particular with Quantum Jam, experimental zones are what you're after. But just go out of your comfort zone and just play. That's what a game jam is. You're playing. You're making the game that you always wanted to make. So even someone that is in industry, and we work on specific games, and that's our lives. Maybe you don't necessarily want to work on a game about cars. Maybe your dream is to make a game about fairies. This is your time to get together with friends and just make that game, the one you've always talked about, or the version of a game you used to play as a kid. Or it's just a free space to play and have fun. And that's what it should be. It should be fun. This isn't a job. This isn't there's no necessity for a definite outcome. There's no pressure to find a publisher. It's just have fun, make games, and bring on the weird. We're totally here for the weird.
Oh yeah, I mean the weirdest is the most innovative and fun actually for the players. And actually through game jams, quite many games from the commercial successes actually originated from the game jams. And also from, let's say, Ludum Dare and Global Game Jam games. Like one of our games actually was born, Clay, The Last Redemption was born actually at the Global Game Jam, like was it 2017, 18, I can't remember, and also as an overall concept. And then we also in our team we use game jams for own brainstorming and like working on own IPs is as a process of creating games is something that we have as a part of our studio. And also, I'm sure if not played, but at least you heard of that little game out there called Fortnite. That was also that was also made as a part of their game jam. So just saying, like, you don't know really what kind of amazing new innovative things can happen before you try, and you never know what would be the next thing that actually would be working well for you and the team, or you wish to proceed developing forward. By the way, if anyone has any questions for Charlie, please do post in Twitch or in Discord on chat. I am keeping an eye on both. So Charlie's here, and she will be also joining us tomorrow together with Tarja in the afternoon, so that we will continue this discussion and also check the status in the mid kind of jam session. So let's see what teams have been doing at that moment. I mean, this sort of like we will be having also updates from the site as well. But yeah,
I mean, to bring back to the point of, you're getting together, there's no pressure, and games that have become successful through game jams. So obviously one of the biggest for Global Game Jam was Surgeon Simulator. But my lovely Scottish friends at Team Terrible, they were in a game jam and they started a game and then they never finished in time. And then afterwards they're like, hang on a minute, let's have another go at that. Let's just see what we can do with it. And that was The Baby in Yellow, which is an awesome horror game and has been supremely successful. So you can always come back to stuff. So even if you don't finish, submit anyway, but also never throw anything away, because when you're not under that 48-hour pressure, you might come back to it and think, well, actually, we could do this differently. And that's really important as well. So there's no absolute pressure to create a fully formed game, but have fun.
Absolutely. No, there's no. We have exactly. This is the best kind of companion when it comes to game development or any any work.
Yeah. Little void cat there.
Yeah, and but yeah, so basically now the whole weekend. Our next thing is that we will be so also Charlie and Tarja and others will be in our Discord as well. So we will, if any questions come later, feel free to post them there. Otherwise, I don't want to actually take any more of your time, Charlie. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see tomorrow, especially to kind of see where are all the teams. Now the biggest thing for the rest of the event. We will have one more talk though after this, but after that we have team forming and brainstorming has already been doing on the Discord, so it's really exciting to read all these amazing ideas. And yeah, so this is all just, it's going to be a long night ahead. Speaking of that, remember to rest, remember to eat and drink enough water. So go to sleep, have your good time. And this is why having teams across the globe is really good, that you can also switch the schedules when it comes to kind of like who continues coding or doing art and so on. So make the most out of the team members when it comes to sharing the load, because again, it's all about togetherness. It's all about making things together. And don't strive for perfection. There is none such. So just have fun.
48 hours, there's not. That's why you need your sleep. Because I can promise you, the stuff you're going to create in the sort of 40th to 48th hour, if you've stayed up all night, you would probably be better having a lovely nap or a wee sleep and then coming back to it. Don't push yourself so hard. It's not a competition to stay up for that long. It's really not. You need to look after yourselves.
Absolutely. And yes, exactly. Take care of your mental health, drink water, have pauses, hug a cat or a dog or whatever you
Or your
or a
stuff.
plushie.
This is fine.
This
Nothing's
is
on
this is
fire.
fine, my regular. So this is every year now in the Quantum Game Jam. This has been our companion. Like, this is fine because that's the best game jam companion one can have. Of course, there's Darth Vader and other things, but this is the true game jammer right there.
Mm-hmm.
Eating pizzas and whatnot, like, of course, whatever works for you. But yes, Charlie, thank you so much. We will continue then tomorrow, and for any additional questions and so on, please do post in chat or in the info channel, or whichever you wish. We will be there answering, and Charlie is also there with us. Once
Absolutely.
again,
Thank you for having me, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And I cannot wait to see the kind of games you're making. It's super exciting. Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first speaker of Global Quantum Game Jam 2023. With me today is Laurentiu Nita from Quarks Interactive, who is the creator of this wonderful game, which you must have heard so far by, which is Quantum Odyssey. And welcome, Laur, to Quantum Game Jam.
Thank you, Natasha. Nice to be here. Okay, let's just jump straight into the game, and I will tell you exactly what was my way of thinking, to come up with this product, and how the years just fly by as I started working on it. So, guys, I think it's been now 4 years since we started with a prototype, and being a PhD researcher, of course, the prototype was first on a whiteboard. That took about 6 months to understand if the laws of quantum physics that we care for, that define the universal gate model, the universal quantum computation framework, can be actually transformed into graphs right? So because if things can become graphs, then they can become a video game, right? Because then they have a beginning and they have an end. And if things have a beginning and they have an end, then they can become a puzzle, right? So if you're looking at Quantum Odyssey today, what you see here, and this is the editor. By the editor, I mean this is a place where you can mess with quantum bits. You can do all sorts of changes to them. For example, you can apply gates, and you can do this process on many more qubits, much more than one. You can go to 3 and so on. And the limit is literally your imagination. So you can do all sorts of entanglement scenarios. This is what you see here is one of the GAZ states, which some of you who know quantum computing might be familiar with it. So as you can see, what is Quantum Odyssey? It is mathematics. So it's pure state vectors multiplied by tensor products, Kronecker products, and it's based on a lot of research. As in, we actually do have a patent for it. The functions that went into making it are more than what you normally get on composers. Yeah, so if you're looking at IBM's Quantum Composer or any other hardware manufacturer, there are a lot of things that we can do and they are not able to do yet. So to give you an example, I just created a custom gate that does exactly what the gates you just saw can do, right? And if I move this around, you can see the gate actually moves. So what you're seeing here is something that not many people have figured it out, but I can tell you. So if you're making a computer game that's based on quantum physics and it's using the rules of quantum physics, you can use the same rules of quantum physics to enhance the gameplay experience of your computer game. So what you see here is an idea that came to us as we were playing with custom gates. You can actually change the behavior of a matrix by encoding it in teleportation algorithms, right? So quantum swap operators can actually sandwich any kind of matrix that defines a permutation step in quantum computation, and it can be placed in any way you'd want. This is really fancy stuff, and this kind of stuff only comes once you start exploring and you start banging your head and you start to understand, like, wow, okay, there are some limits to what we know, and maybe we can do something to push these limits forward. So the actual editor of Quantum Odyssey gives you everything from the standard block spheres where you can do in pi and you can use all sorts of sin functions, cosinus, and so on to define the place where your state vector is on a single qubit to create a single gate, up to actually creating a huge matrix, or taking one of the matrices you've created already and pasting it in. Yeah, so you can copy from here one of the matrix. No, not here, but in the actual custom gate. All sorts of things like that you can do. You can, and with this, you can give it a name, you can save as a puzzle, you can create multiple challenges and save these challenges and send them to other people who have Quantum Odyssey, and they can solve it. And you can see how well they solve these challenges and what rating they had. So this is one of the features Quantum Odyssey has. As I said, this is a 4-year project. Don't expect to do something like this in a single quantum jam. Game jam, at best, you can come up with some game design decisions. But what I want to show you is like where the project can go if you put enough time and effort into it. So with what you just saw, the idea of creating puzzles, you can take this further and you can create actual pieces of content. Yeah, you can call them learning modules, you can call them actual story progress chapters and so on. Yeah, and that would be nice because today there are many quantum algorithm tools out there or things that do some quantum inspired stuff, but there is no story, there is no kind of motivation to why people should play that, why people should explore that. So we fix that by going down to the old JRPG concept where you have a person telling you stuff, and you have highlighted keywords that you can click on, and you can read a lot more by going to the encyclopedia. And yeah, it tells you what to do and how to get the job done to solve these puzzles one by one. Yeah, and between puzzles, we separated it into two parts. So you have the learning phase where we do not measure how well you solve the puzzles. We just want you to chill down and try to understand what the concepts are and how to solve these puzzles. So we give you some nice quotes, we tell you to continue learning. And after you finish that, you go into more advanced puzzles that look something like that. Like, let me show you, like this, right? And yeah, the requirement is to figure out how to actually get the ball here. Straightforward, the ball spawns from here and you have to get it here. And find the solution, and you see how beautiful it can be. Actually get score statistics, you get your level increase, and you have, of course, the whole ladder where you can see how well you fared compared to other people who have tried to the same puzzles. So you can actually understand how good your solution is compared to other people's solutions. And as for future releases, we definitely want to be the first company that actually is capable to start esports, right, in quantum computing. So I'm now in Korea, and I'm going to translate this game to Korean as well. I'm looking for partners, publishers, and so on to bring this to esports. What do I mean by that? I mean, if it's so easy to create puzzles, and if it's so easy to solve puzzles that we've tested even with 12-year-olds, 12-year-olds can actually do quantum computing problems by playing Quantum Odyssey. We want to put this head-to-head. So we want to have a design phase where people secretly create their own puzzle, one against the other. So they all know the rules. They have the same rules. Kind of like, you kind of decide what kind of items you should have in your battle. And then people solve each other's puzzles basing on the same rules, right? And then there's a real competition going on, and we'll see who does better than the other, so we can find who's the top quantum logician in the world, right? So this is our aspiration for Year of Quantum 2025, and please follow us, stay in tune with what we do, download Quantum Odyssey. If of course this is a commercial product, so if you have no money for a license, just message me, text me, and I will send you a license. Don't worry about it. We want to get as much feedback as we can, and we want this community to grow and get more and more people excited about quantum computing. So yeah, thanks, Natasha. And this has been my talk.
Thank you, Laura. It is very, very inspiring, and cannot wait to hear and see more from the launch that will be spring next year. So everyone stay
Hopefully.
tuned. Yes, stay tuned, and thank you, Laura, so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And here we are. I hope now also my mic and all works well. So yeah, that is the official opening of the Quantum Game Jam 2023. And as mentioned, we have record-breaking number of participants and also community members in our Discord. It is absolutely mind-blowing, and we are so grateful and excited to have you all joining us this event. So next, what is next? It is to actually hop on our Discord if you aren't there already, and let's start brainstorming and in the brainstorming channel, and also start team forming. So basically we will have in about half an hour, we will officially kind of start, although quite many of you already started. So what I would like to recommend is that be active there. Let's figure out what ideas and games you want to work with, and then we will form teams accordingly. Nobody will be left out. That is something that we make sure as our volunteers and fellow organizers are here to assist you. If any questions come, please do ask in whichever of the channels of info and needed help and so forth. So just directly reach out and we will be there for you. But yes, that's it for today's live stream on our IGDA Finland Twitch channel, as IGDA Finland has been one of our biggest partners throughout all these years and remains to do so. We are very grateful to have this Twitch community as well to share our jam stories and also your jamming story as well. So yeah, let's go to Discord and start forming the teams. And we see tomorrow from 2 o'clock Finnish time, so 1 afternoon Central European time. And from there we will have again many speakers, lots of content, some live, some pre-recorded, but either way, a lot of incredibly inspiring stories from all around the world. Happy jamming and see you on the other side. Cheers.